Okay. All right, all right, all right. My name is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the daughter of the Fates. Latisha, if you are listening, it's saying here that you need to, let's see, oh, there you go. Okay. Add to stage. Cool. This is my first time doing this.
Okay, that's fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, good, good.
Okay, let me big this a little. Yeah, that's
Okay.
nice. Okay, so I'm gonna just tell you,
Mhm.
greetings, Yellow Rose, greetings, Fifth World. So I'm gonna just tell
Hey.
you, I ordered food an hour ago, girl, and it still has not arrived. So I just imagine that it's going to arrive while we on the phone. So
Okay.
I may have to take like a little 2 to 3 minute break to meet my driver to pick up my grub.
Okay, you fine.
But I'm just forewarning. You look great, by
Right.
the way.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, and they keep pushing my time back. It was supposed to be here 35 minutes ago, and they keep pushing the time back.
They
Anyway,
do.
let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to log on to my IG. For those that are tuning in, Cassandra Faye Floyd, also known as the daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. And I am joined today by a sister friend that,
Hello.
oh, greetings, my Amy, greetings, the K Way. I am joined today, I'm hella hyped, by a sister friend who mentioned quite a while ago on one of the lives that she is an exotic dancer. And so I was like, look, first of all, you're my first interview.
Okay, right. Okay. That's good. I'm
Yeah.
happy to know that.
Yes, you are my first interview. Now, I used to do radio years ago, but in terms of like interviewing somebody
Um,
on my channel, or in any way for that matter, that hasn't happened in 10
well, I'm
years.
glad it's happening now. It's a good thing. It's happening now.
Yes,
Oh, I'm
yes.
happy. Yeah.
So I pulled out a bunch of books, pulled out a bunch of stuff.
I know you got plenty. You got plenty of bugs.
But let me just tell y'all something about Sister Latisha. When is the first time that you checked out my channel?
It was like, okay, I want to say 3 months ago. It wasn't during the civil.
Okay,
I came afterwards. So it was
okay,
like, I'll say like 4 months ago. Yeah.
okay. That's good to know because Latisha is one who stands out. So okay, like she said, she's been following for about 3 or 4 months. All right, and I'm gonna tell y'all something about Latisha. Latisha is one who, since she has been following my page and coming on for the lives and following along in the reading of the books and so on, this woman stays in my head. And I don't mean in like a small way. Like I'm always talking about having the ability, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about this shit. Having the ability to, in real time, because it's easy for us to kind of like look back on a scenario, kind of like, you
Right.
know, revisit a scenario and be like, damn,
Right.
Spirit was on my ass. You feel me?
Right.
But in real time, as a thing is happening, to be able in the moment to say, oh shit, this is a prayer that's been answered, or this is a confirmation I've been looking for, or this is, you know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
recognize that moment where the strands of the grand tapestry cross, or, you know, the synapses form a new connection. You
Right.
understand?
Right.
And I'm telling y'all, look, the sister been following my page for 3 months, 4 months tops. and she incessantly stays in my head like crazy.
Right.
Like I was just talking to her last week, I think, about it was about this book, Pure Lust, and how I had texted a note to myself based on something we had just read in Pure Lust about the 12 steps, the 12-step program and all of that shit, and how we got to rewrite the 12 steps.
Right.
Man, now as soon as I texted my goddamn self that note in the phone so I wouldn't forget it, she typed on the live feed, there you go. There we got our 12 steps right there. She just laid out our
Right.
said, holy shit. Yo. And it's like that kind of way this woman stays in my head. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate your presence on the page so much. I appreciate every last one of you. Every last one of you. But let me tell you about Laticia. So as soon as she said, I don't even remember what we were talking about. But she was like, I'm a dancer. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. We were talking about that. You were reading the Women's Encyclopedia. And
oh, okay.
Saying,
was it the sacred prostitution?
Yes, it was. Yes, that day. Yes.
Okay, so it has taken me longer than I had anticipated. But I am so glad, so grateful to have Sister Latisha on the phone with us today. And let's go ahead and get started. Like I said at the opening, I ordered food an hour ago. It still ain't here. They keep pushing back my time. So if I have to get up and go grab my food, just forgive me. It won't be but a minute. And otherwise, we can go ahead and get started. We can shoot the shit. So what I will do is start the opening with just asking you to say a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Latisha. My dance name is Codeine, like the drug. Okay. And I've been dancing for 5 years. It's so much fun. I love it. I think we already are aware of the negative sides of dancing. I can touch on a little bit of it, but there are great things that can come from dancing and the confidence that you get from it. So yeah, and this is it's a job that's tough, but it's rewarding in so many other ways, not just financially, but other ways too in your life. It really does help shape you and in the real world, I guess, outside of that dancer world, it makes you more vocal. So, usually I would never do this. I would never do something like this. But it does push you to do certain things. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I have a son, and
How old is your baby?
He's 12. He's 12.
Oh, okay, you got a big baby.
So yeah, I'm just ready to speak on this type of culture because I think it needs to be said. A lot of things need to be said and cleared. And everything is going to be different for everyone, but just my walk in this and how you can find your way, without getting too lost in how crazy it can get in that world. Yeah.
Okay, so that's really a great overview because I think like myself and like other women, I want to know everything. I want to know the good, the bad, the ugly, the crazy. I want to know it all. So I guess the first thing I would like to know is you said you started dancing about 5 years ago. Like what led you to make the decision that this was the route you were going to take?
Well, I was working this 9 to 5 job. I was a forklift operator, and I was getting tired of it. And I said, well, it just came out of the blue. I said, I'm gonna be a dancer. And I would joke with people, like you were saying, I would joke with people. And I told this guy, I was like, I'm gonna be a dancer. And it got to a point I was coming up with a name. I came with a name, and I don't think I was ever gonna do it until something happened at my job. Right. And I was like, oh, I don't usually get in like any type of drama or anything, trouble with management and stuff like that. But something happened. I said, "Oh wow, I think this right here is the time I have to go. I have to go and do what I said I was gonna do." So I quit my job immediately, right then. I said, "I'm not coming back," and I never went back. I didn't even have a job, and I just quit. And so the next day, I went out to go and audition to get a job as a dancer at this club that I do not recommend, but it's a starter club. And they didn't even hire me, but I came back anyway, and I forced my way in there. I just started working there. I wasn't even supposed to be there, and I just started working.
Girl,
Yeah, bro, I started working. I acted because it's a certain way you have to get hired on. So at that club, you gotta go through the house mom. House mom is just a lady, usually a lady who's there to look over the women while they're there. So it's like a what do you call it, the madam or the head
yeah,
mistress of the brothel or something. And
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
she'll say, okay, go ahead, go get a permit, because in Georgia, most clubs you have to have a permit to work
What
as
kind
a
of permit?
dancer. Permit like a contractor, because you're considered
Oh,
an
you're an
independent
independent
contractor.
contractor.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
get a permit. You have to go and pay a certain amount, and then it's annual. So you'll get a new one every year. And
Mhm.
so I went to go get it, and I came back. I told the DJ, I said, yeah, I got hired on. He was like, for real? I said, yeah. And he was like, okay, well, I guess you can start working. I said, all right. So that's
Wow.
how I started dancing, because I was really forced out. I was like, man, this is something I'm gonna do. I did it, and it worked. It worked for me. I guess that was a path that I was supposed to take at the time. You know.
I love it. I'm if it looks like I'm looking away, it's because, honey, I'm taking notes. Okay,
Oh, you're fine. You're good.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah. So that it's so many different ways. I was never in a situation that was dire. Some women, they are in a dire situation where they feel like they have to go and do that. You know. And sometimes it's a trend for some women, and most of the time it's through trauma. Like they have to get money today, or else something crazy is going to happen to their life where they feel like they
Mm,
can't survive. So
mm.
I didn't start off that way, you know.
That's good to know.
Thankfully. Yeah, yeah.
So,
But
in the place that you work, like, what is the environment like?
okay, so I just started working at this new club that I'm now calling my home. And it's mostly Hispanic men. I'm usually around black males. I'm not really around Hispanic men like that. So it's a right now it's kind of dead. Like the energy is, I don't know, it's different. The energy is kind of calm. And
Hmm. How long have you been
it's
there?
I've only been there now for 2 weeks.
Okay, okay.
But I don't work many days. Like I'm the type of dancer who do not work every single day. I used to, but you have to save energy because this thing can get hectic. It
Yeah.
can. So I only work 2 days out the week, but I work hard and make sure I get my money, whatever. You know.
Hmm.
So I've been going there, like, the most I've worked is 4 days. You know.
Hmm.
So it's been good. It's been good.
What are your work hours like? Like, if you go in for a day, what hours do you work?
So for me, I go in like around 9, 10 o'clock. And I
Hmm.
don't in this club, most clubs in Atlanta and in Georgia, most clubs close at 3 o'clock. Now there are some
Okay.
clubs that will stay open till 6 o'clock in the morning,
Hmm.
which is always good, a good club. But
Okay.
so you have to kind of make your money fast, I would say, in those clubs that close at 3 o'clock. Which it keeps you on your feet, it keeps you on your toes, like I gotta go ahead and get this money,
Greetings,
and
Samara.
so
Keep
yeah,
going.
that's so usually around 9, and I try to stay till 3 o'clock. I try to, okay, because a lot of times, um, dancers, they would want to leave early because they either be discouraged, or no one's spending no money, they get agitated, There's a lot of things that go on emotionally with the dancers,
Mm.
um, and that's why it could be a hectic kind of tumultuous kind of position to play. Like
Uh-huh.
you always have to deal with people's frustration of
Oh.
being the one that's kind of feel like you ostracized, like no one likes me, no one picking me. A lot of that stuff goes on. So
Mm.
that's usually my time frame. And or sometimes I may leave early. If I make the money I want to make, I'll leave early. I don't have to stay. And that's the amazing thing about dancing is you don't have to stay. You can leave when you want to. you know.
So what's a good night for you?
A good night for like money wise.
Yeah.
I always say I want to go. I want to at least make 800. That's my I want to at least. A lot of times you will make more than that, and a lot of times you won't make that. I've had days I didn't make anything, and it's a reason for that, you know, because your emotions can get to you, and then you can feel like no one likes me, and you'll leave early. It depends. It really does depend on you, and um, that's how I see it as. It depends on how are you interacting with other people, because you can make people give you some money, like like how can I approach this person? Like, how do I approach it? It's a mental game. Like this type of job is very mental. You have to
Mm.
kind of be borderline manipulative. You borderline have
Well,
to be
call a
that.
thing a thing. Call a thing a
And
thing.
and, and it's true. And I know I'm honestly here for it, because I've been really wanting to know like how people think mentally. Like what makes you think? What makes this person, you know, do things that's favorable to me? And I
Yes.
know that sounds crazy, but
No,
it's
not at all. Not at all.
I mean, like in this type of industry, you get a lot of people who are in the the darkness, or who are the downtrodden, or you know what I mean. So you can get a lot of people who are attracted to that negative type of life, or that
Mm.
all that kind of like non-revered type of lifestyle. So you may get a lot of people who are uh, drug dealers, people who do, I don't want to say, who do crazy things in the streets and things like that. You get that type of people in this place. So
Mm.
just to know that you're around these people, it can
Right.
be a little taunting to you. It can be a
Mm.
little scary, but you have to know how to move in this type of way, like where you are safe, and you know that you're gonna be able to do this. Because if
Mm.
you can't do it, then I'll say you'll be the one. They say it's like shaking like a stripper, like the girl who's like shaking in the corner like a puppy, like she's hurt. You can be that way, because you won't move. It's kind of like we were talking about earlier, with where you freeze. You really don't do anything. You
Yes.
sit down and you don't do anything, and you watch
Oh my
everybody get
God.
money, and you just like. So
Well, you
it
know
can
what?
be.
I wanna tell you a quick story. It's
Uh,
quick, but it just reminded me of what you said about kind of borderline, have to be manipulative. I
yeah.
used I used to work in the hospitality industry. I was always just like management or server or bartender. Those were the lanes, right?
Hmm.
And I remember I took this job. I was always the big black bitch. Always. Like since I was young. I've always been the big black girl in whatever scenario it is, right?
Right. Okay.
So a friend of mine, a gay white guy, who was a manager at this cigar and martini bar, and he was like, "Look, I'm looking for a server." I was like, "All right, cool." So I come down there, and at the time I'm bald headed. Like I had been shaving my head, so I was glistening bald. You feel me? And I'm a big woman, I'm a mama, you feel me? And I go down there. He's like, "Come to the club, I want to walk you around, whatever." And everybody in the place that he has hired, the bartenders, the servers, everybody are like, Coke bottle figures, skinny white chicks
Mhm.
with long hair and big boobs and all this shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, why do you want me to come and work here? Bitch, I don't look like nobody here. I'm the only black woman working there. You feel me?
Right.
I was like, why you want me to work here? He was like, well, I just want to, diversify and all this shit. I was like, look, I
Mhm.
need the money. And if you can give me the hours that I want, then I'll come and work, right? But of course, I was in my 20s. So I was still kind of like insecure, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I was
Yeah.
like, fuck it, I need these
Right.
you understand? So let me cute it up the way I can and
Right.
work it out as I go.
Uh,
Baby, and this was an upscale cigar and martini bar. Okay. And Birmingham is the only, Birmingham, right? So
yeah.
Birmingham is the only city in Alabama that's like big and has like a big airport.
Mhm.
So there were always like people coming in from other areas. Baby, look, at the end of the night, all of the servers would go to this big table in the back of the bar. And we dump our pockets and start counting our money and cashing out and, tipping our bus boys and all this shit, right?
Yeah.
right out that gate, every night these bitches would be so mad. Like, and they have to say nothing for me to know what the narrative was. How this big black bald headed bitch making more money than we make?
Yeah.
How this bitch making more money than we make?
Right.
Like, bitch, I'm cute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, bitch, I'm white. Like, bitch, I got boob. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I used to talk to my friend all the time. I'm like, these tricks, they hate my ass. They gutted for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it took no time for even dudes, from out of town who want to bring their business partners or, what, and they would ask for me. I would get tipped $100 on a $25, $40, $50 drink order. You understand? And so, that's when it really occurred to me, like the way I approached every job working in the industry, because I always made money in the hospitality industry. It's like, it's just like acting. Don't nobody give a fuck if you had a bad day. Don't nobody give a fuck that you had a bad day. Don't nobody care about your wife. Because they want to be the center of the universe when they come to spend their money. Make these arrogant motherfuckers feel like the center of the universe. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do. These girls would come in with an attitude. They'd be real short. They wouldn't remember nobody's drink. Like, how does motherfucker come in here 4 days a week and you can't remember what he drinks?
Right.
It ain't rocket science.
They burnt out a lot. Be burnt out, like, or they're not trying. It's just like you got to find a way to stay happy, or stay happy to a point where you can get what you want. Because ain't nobody want to spend no money on a bad server, a bartender. Oh my gosh,
it's the worst thing.
It is the worst thing. It's the worst thing.
Listen, I will post up in the same bar. I got the little dive that I go to right here down the street from my house. I don't go nowhere else because the bartender is dope.
Right. Yes.
The drinks are stiff. Right. He take care of me. He know my name. He asks about my babies. You know what I'm saying? Like he may not give a damn about me, but he know about his money.
Yes. And you know what? I've known some dancers who have stopped dancing to bartend.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
I was like, dang. I was like, why would she stop dancing and go be a bartender or be a server? I'm like, I know there's money. I've never been in there. I had a friend. She was a bartender and a server, for a very long time, and she was saying there's money in there, great money, And I was like, it always puzzled me. I was like, you could be a dancer, but it was like, what? It must be like, what's the point of? Because in Georgia, most clubs you have to get fully nude. Okay, so this is nothing like no topless stuff or nothing. You gotta get fully nude. And so I'm like, well, why? Probably it's not worth it, her getting naked, and she can just go over here and make some drinks or, serve some things and still get tipped. Because she has rapport, they're gonna tip her because I never used to be a dancer. Yeah, they'll give her more. You know what I mean? It's something. So that is very true.
You not understand. Like, I had a friend who was a guy. He had a master's degree in chemical engineering. And I was like, why are you bartending? He was like, bitch, because I make more money and I make 3 times as much as a bartender than I would ever make in my field. He's like, that's why.
That is true.
It's like me working in my field will not be
that's what people don't like. That's what people don't like. And like, why did I spend all this money to go to school for a certain thing and you just, getting naked or dancing or just serving drinks and you getting all this money? And that was the same thing that happened in the day. I don't know if you remember, but in the Dangerous Beauty movie, and he was like, yeah, I watched it. Yeah. I watched it. And then he was like, yeah, she makes 3 times as much as I'm making, and she just over there living her life and he's over there hating from the far. I'm like, dang.
Girl, that movie, I should probably do a movie review of that movie. But just so y'all understand what she's talking about, I gave y'all a homework assignment last week. She fulfilled the assignment. Dangerous Beauty is that motherfucking jam. Especially when you learn that it's based on a true story.
Yeah. And it really was, it dawned on me. I said, oh my gosh. I'm like, this is really what we like dancers experience all the time. You know,
But
males coming in and trying to pull you from your job, like the guy who took her away. I would have never stopped, first of all. But
girl, okay, so what's gonna have to happen is me and you gonna have to get up on here together and do a movie review of The Dangerous Beauty.
oh yeah, because I would like to do that because that right
I
there was
watched that movie. I know because I watched it for the first time maybe 12 years ago.
mm,
I watched the movie a long time ago and I was like, oh my God, this is the shit.
yeah, it was
But
good.
because it was so loaded. And then which book? It was in Sacred Prostitution when she talked about how the courtesans, the prostitutes were the one that had supreme power. But it
Mm-hmm,
was funny because she was getting hate from two very specific places. From these
mm-hmm.
motherfucking men who hate to see women with power, especially when they mediocre. When
Yeah,
they
oh, yeah,
mediocrity can't set the terms. How
right.
this bitch is somebody and I ain't nobody. And even his homeboy was telling because you is mediocre. She awesome and your ass is mediocre. Like remember when they did the poetry challenge?
Oh yes, and she
And
was
she
getting him,
grounded.
and yes, and they were
So,
doing the fencing. They were doing the fencing, and yeah, she was going like she was all around a woman who was she was well rounded, but it was centered around her being a courtesan. But
yeah,
she was great at
she was awesome.
poetry. She was
She
great
was
at
awesome.
well, you know what the crazy thing is? It didn't happen to her until she started knowing her power. Because in the beginning, she was very quiet in the background,
Hey,
not really doing much.
remember when her mother first told her, she was like, because she didn't even know her mother used to be a courtesan.
Yeah.
She was like, look, I was trying, I saved up some little coins so you didn't have to do this life, but your daddy drank up all your motherfucking money. Your daddy drank up your dowry.
Yeah.
So now, bitch, I'm sorry. But we
Yeah.
broke. You understand? I ain't got no money. You gonna have to be a courtesan. And she was like, say, what?
Yeah.
What you
Yeah.
mean you was a courtesan? And so her mama started putting her on game, started teaching her the trade, this, that, and the other. And she
Yeah.
still got this like fairy tale dream about marriage and romance and all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so she got an attitude when her mama's trying to put her on game. Like,
Yeah.
look, you got to have to support the whole family. That's just what it is.
Right.
Blame your bum ass daddy for that shit. You feel me?
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
and
And
so
that was toxic though. That was toxic. She tried to make her making her daughter do that.
but
But
it was the period. So what I
yeah,
was really
the period.
struck
Yeah.
what I was really struck by was one, remember the scene when, her mother is teaching her the trade.
Uh,
And she was like, the thing that will destroy your ability to support yourself and make your money is to get pregnant. So she gave her the herbal cocktail
oh
that she
wow.
took every time
Yeah.
she had
Yeah. Yeah.
sex to make sure
Yeah.
that she didn't get pregnant. I was like, oh
And
shit.
that's true
Like,
though.
they putting down all the secrets in this motherfucking movie, right? And
Yeah.
then the first time, you remember the first time she had like a client, and it
Right.
was an old dude, and she was like, this is gross. And she was just laying there like a lump on a log.
Right.
And then that motherfucker handed her a big old giant bag of gold, and she was like, "Oh, what?" You remember her face
This
changed.
not too bad anymore.
Like, oh, shh. There
Right.
might be something to
Right.
this.
Okay. I think I like this now.
Yes, baby. That movie is the jam.
Yes.
That
And
movie
it
is
reminded me so much of that, So you have that thing where you have male. I would have to say this: there are males in this industry that will come to clubs, right, to recruit you so they can, pimp you out. That
oh
stuff
wow.
happens all the time. People don't really talk about it, and I'm surprised that no one says anything about it. But there are pimps inside. They'll come inside the club and try to recruit you because it's easy for them because it's like and that's a big thing that's happening in the dance industry. It's like prostitution going on inside of it, you know. And
Mm,
I don't have any type of way against either one, but I can see how it could be detrimental to the dancers because
yeah.
it makes them think as if, okay, I won't be getting no money if you over here doing this. However, there's a way to get around that if you know how to maneuver it correctly, in my opinion. But it's a big thing where you do have a prostitution going on inside of strip clubs. It's I can't say all of them, but it's a lot like that. And some clubs actually cater to that. And on the low, you don't know that they
Oh
cater
yeah,
to it.
I've heard that. I've heard
Yeah.
that.
So it's a thing. It's a thing.
Okay, so this is fun. Let's see. Patricia says, let me just start posting some of these comments. Patricia said, I tried dancing in Atlanta back in 2014. She said I lasted 31 days. She was like, I ain't doing it.
So I'm gonna do one more day, not the 30. I'm gonna do one more day. I can't do it, and I can't do 32. No, I get what you're saying. In so many different ways, I get what you're saying. It be a lot. That's why a lot of people don't like to dance in Atlanta no more. A lot of people
Mm.
travel, but
Oh.
yeah, a lot of people travel. Got traveling dancers. I mean, dancers. It's a lane for you. Like you can find a way. Like you go into a club, you may be a dancing girl, a stage girl. No, a
Mhm.
girl who loves to get on the stage. No, not all clubs make you get on stage to dance.
Mm.
So you can be the girl who just like to go around and talk to people and get money that way. You could be a section girl. You're all in the section that you're with a whole group of people and you're always in the midst of. There's so many different ways to make money in there. You will, if just that if you can't, you have to know your elemental like that right there. When we was talking about reading the book earlier, you
Mhm.
have to know your elemental. You have to start working with it because if you aren't using them, people will take advantage of that, and you will stay still. You won't know what to do. You like, dang, you're immobilized. I don't know. What should I do? Should I go and do this? Should I go and you'll have males in there, those males who came in there to try to recruit a girl, they will come to you and then they will try to scoop you up that way, and you'll be looking for a safe place to go, and then you'll say, well, maybe I can do it. It happens that way. It happens.
So
you
let
know
me ask you, in the place, because you were saying earlier, like the place that you're in now, you've only been a couple of weeks, and it's
yeah,
predominantly Hispanic, and
yeah,
that the place that you worked before was mostly black males,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Why did you leave that place?
Oh, because I needed a change. I really
Mm.
did need a change. I was like, it's time for me to go. Actually, they were about to lose the club and someone else bought it. We didn't know at the time, but I kind of felt it because they said that we would have to renew our permit. Now, during COVID, when COVID hit, everything was honestly good for us because we didn't have to renew our permits for a very long time. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah, we didn't have to go do the annual thing. No, we didn't have to. They say you just dance because the police station, because you have to go to a permit police station to get,
Oh wow.
all that. Yeah, because they got to make sure you don't have a record, you know.
Oh.
And so everything got shut down. Um, so I didn't know that they were, shutting down due to somebody else buying this place. So when they said, well, you got to renew your permit, I was like, I don't know. This is time for me to go. I was like, and plus there were some things that was going on. I was like, man, I want to change.
Mhm.
And so I just took a break. I took a long break from dancing. And I was like, I'm gonna start dancing because that's why I started working at this club right here that I'm at
Uh-huh.
now. But my old club, it's great. It's great money in there. It's good. I love that club. And then sometimes I think about, shoot, dang, I may go back. And it's always an opportunity where I can go back. It's just that I'll know when it's time. I'll know.
Well, let me ask you another question then. I've been seeing like dancers, even like how Cardi B got her start, like doing dance, like using social media
Oh
to
yeah.
like get people to come to where she was dancing, and then eventually using social media to get herself like private parties
Yeah.
and and shit like that. Like, is that something that you've ever done or have considered doing?
No. Because that's not my life. Some girls, a lot of girls, that's what they do. They use social media. Even some clubs, they will tell, like, if you want to get hired there, they'll say, well, you need to write your Instagram down. you know, they was like, you have to give us Instagram. And so because they'll make you post things, like make sure you post a flyer of our event coming up, you know.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
new thing that's happening now. Because they know that a lot of girls, like Cardi B was doing, like she wasn't the only one that she popped off because of Love and Hip Hop. But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of girls, that's how they been doing their thing. Like they've been getting their money through social media and
Mm.
having people come in the club with them. Like a lot of times, they say you could be that type of girl who brings the crowd in because you know a lot of men in your life,
Yeah.
and you'll bring them in and they'll spend money on you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but you never know. A lot of things are smoke and mirrors. Like, you know, a lot of things, smoke and mirrors, not what you think it is. You know, it'd be deeper than that. So,
Mm.
that's why you can't get caught up in the hype. Yeah.
Um, Eve Moorhead said you have to pay a nightly fee.
Yes, you have to. It depends on the club. So, the clubs in Georgia mostly it ranges from like the lowest I know of is like $50, and the highest is like it could be very high. Okay, depending on the club. Like Magic City, you better get ready to pay a lot of money. You know. So if you want to work during the day, it will be cheaper. But at night, like night shift and day shift girls, of course, night you got to pay more. And also, you got to depends on the day. Like if it's a weekday, you pay less. But during the weekend, of course, you got to pay more. And it goes up. Most clubs they go up $10 each an hour. So they have a base pay like at a certain time. Like at 8 o'clock, they say 8 o'clock you got to pay $70 each hour. It goes up $10. So if you're a girl who like to stay like come in late, you know, get ready to pay like $100 and something dollars to dance. And then you
So
have to
you're
pay,
paying like rent to dance at somebody's club?
yes, because you consider a independent contractor. You're
That
working in their establishment, so you have
that's
to.
funky. That's
And
funky.
it's crazy. It's crazy. You have to pay to work there, which is cool because honestly, when you think about it, when you work there, like they ain't nothing. It's really nothing. But it's something when it's a slow day and when no one's gonna pay you no money. You know what I mean? Like when people are being weird and just looking at people. You know, like this past Saturday, I was at well not this 2 Saturdays ago, I was at the job, and like everybody was looking at each other, dancers, customers, like nobody's dancing. I'm like, what in the world is going on? So I'm just like, I have to make things happen. You better get up. That's a perfect opportunity to get up and you talk and use your voice and see how you can get this money out of people because people bored. People came out for a reason. And so
Mm-hmm.
make them pay.
Mm-hmm.
You're not there
Baby.
to talk. You have to move. You have to spur that energy up, get those elements going so you can say, okay, this is how I'm gonna approach this person. And everybody's different. Everybody's different. But you have to realize, like, okay, what type of person this is and how I'm gonna be able to get what I want out of this and still be
Okay.
happy, not having and still be in control of it. Because that's another
Yeah.
thing. A lot of times the males be in control of it, still be in control of what's going on. You know.
Okay. So my driver is almost here. So what
Okay.
I'm gonna do, Samara KO just asked you a question. Do you
I
dance
see.
sober? Okay, you can
And
see it.
girl,
Cool.
I don't see how anybody can dance sober. Like honestly, I do not see how anyone can do this. I can't. There's some girls that can do it. I cannot dance sober. I'm gonna be honest. That's why
Damn.
you get.
Word.
No, I cannot dance sober.
Okay. That's good
I'm
to
just gonna
know.
be. I'm not there yet. I'm
No,
not
that's
there
good
yet.
to know. That's
Yeah,
good to know.
and you can do it, but it's just like you have to find out what works for you. Okay, that's why you got some girls that do drugs, and that's why it's if you're an addict or if you are previous addict, it's gonna be very triggering for you, like going in that type of environment because you have
Mm.
people selling in there. You got a whole much stuff going on.
Okay,
You
you
know?
keep talking. I'm gonna go grab my food.
Okay,
But
you
you
have
can
so
keep
many
talking.
things to be
Everybody listening.
doing. So it's hard for me to dance sober. I have to have something. I gotta have my drink. I choose wine. But dancing sober is not a thing for me to do, honestly. I'm about to look at the comments. Choose wine. But dancing sober is not a thing for me to do, honestly. 1 second. I'm about to look at the comments. Choose wine. But dancing sober is not a thing for me to do, honestly. 1 second. I'm about to look at the comments. Choose wine. But dancing sober is not. Okay. I thought I could look at the comments, but I can't. Okay, my bad. For some reason, it can't. When I was trying to look at the comments, my thing went off.
Okay, hold on just a second. Hold on a second.
But I see, okay.
Sorry about that.
Fine.
Okay. That took forever and ever and ever. I ain't lying. They just delivered my shit at 10:20. I ordered my shit at 8:45.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not cold.
Probably is. But I ain't gonna.
Yeah, I saw a question on here. I didn't guess the name, but she was saying, were you scared? Like, were you in a trance or something like that? I couldn't catch it.
Okay, let's see. So, okay. So Mark says she was the one that asked the question about do you dance sober? And she said that's what your response. She was like, that's what I was thinking. That's so scary, low key. Were you scared at first?
No. I was scared my first big night, the first weekend, the first day of my first weekend. That was scary because it's a whole bunch of people and you have to get on stage in front of everybody. And I was not used to that. So I was literally shaking like this. And it was so funny when I think about it now. That's why I always think about the scared little puppy. That's why I felt like. And then the girl who was dancing with me, there was 2 girls on stage, me and another girl. And then we had to move a stage and go to the next stage. And she was like, we didn't get no money because I was so scared.
Oh no.
And then so she was like, it's okay, just calm down. It's gonna be all right. I'm like, okay. And so I just noticed, I was like, man, I have to find a way that I can actually work and be okay. I was like, man, I got to drink me something. So I got to loosen up. And that's what keeps me good. Like, it keeps me okay. Like right now, I haven't tried dancing sober any time recently. But I may try it. I may try it to see if I can get through it. Because it can be irritating. Because I feel like the drinking or something, it keeps you calm instead of going off on people who still, because you can get sexually assaulted in there, grabbing and touching.
Oh yeah.
Grabbing and touching and doing too much. You can get you can go off. You literally like trigger. You like, I'm going off. I'm cutting this person out. dancers have fought guys before, like it's a real thing. And so I'm like, man, to keep myself from going there, let me just have a drink.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, have you had any experiences that you are willing to talk about that have been negative?
Okay. Well, I remember when I was in my first club, it was this guy. He kept trying to trigger me by saying things like, "Oh my gosh, you ugly," and stuff like that. So I'm just like, bro, why you keep coming up to me and saying these things? Like he just kept coming to me and saying these things and leaving. So I'm like, what the world? And so me and this girl that I was cool with were talking, and he kept trying to talk to her, and I'm like, bro, why are you over here? So of course I was like, why are you over here? Whatever, whatever. And he was like, you need to shut up. And he mushed me in my face, like mushed me. Yes.
Girl, no.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. It's crazy. Like really, guys can be can really do stuff like that and think it's okay. So I mushed him back, of course. And the crazy thing is, none of the security even did anything. Usually when that happens, like that person gets kicked out. Like all the clubs I worked at since that was my first club. Every club that I worked at since then, like the security be on it. They don't play none of that because they will throw you out. But that
Mhm.
club, the girls were not protected at all. Like I'm just like, what the world?
Mhm.
And that was actually my last day there. I tried to come back the next day. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let this ruin my time, or trying to ruin, what I'm trying to do. And so, but when I went back, it was something that was happening in telling something that happened saying that I did not sign in or with the house mom. And I was like, you know what, this is a sign I need to go. So I
Mhm.
was like, you know what, I'm done
Yes.
with that place. And so I wasn't even there for more than 6 months. It wasn't more than 6 months. And so that's when I went to my club I was at for the most of the time, most of my dancing career. And that club, it was a good club. It's still a good club, I think. Well, I don't know now since there's a new owner, but
Mhm.
it's a good club, and
So,
it felt safe there.
there's another question: is there a typical age or type, or is it very diverse where you at?
Is there like for the dancers?
Mhm.
Okay. Um, Honestly, no. Like there's skinny women that get a lot of money, and there'll be thicker women, heavy, so they'll get a lot of money as well. You know.
Mm.
So it's really based on your confidence. Like you really have to own your stuff. And people think that's just like, oh, whatever. No, I'm serious. You have to be confident because you can really, I've seen girls that not really, in the into makeup or into that type of thing. Like I'm not, and they let their skin kind of rough, or something, things not looking good, nails not done. Like that's something that you would think a dancer would have and be on point. But they will get a lot of money because they're confident and they gonna say they know how to wield their power. And it's like if you can't,
Mm.
they know how to. And a lot of girls, they'll sit like I used to. They'll sit and they'll wait for someone to come and get them. That's not gonna happen. That's rare that happens. That's rare. You better get up there and talk because believe it or not, there's a lot of guys that are afraid to talk to dancers. They're afraid, and
Mm.
they'll sit in the back. And like this one guy, I was getting ready to leave, and he was like, "You're leaving?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, okay." So thought you were gonna come up here and talk to me. And I'm just like, why you didn't come and talk to me? Or stop me. I'll be walking past here all the time.
Mhm.
But a lot of times they're afraid to just say, "Hey, come here."
Right. Right.
And
Um.
the age thing,
Huh?
at the age thing, the oldest dancer I have ever seen, she was 45. And she looked good though. I mean, she looked good. Her body, of course, her body was done up and everything. But that's the oldest dancer I know. And
Mhm.
she was very confident, but um she was very traumatic. I was like, she was a very traumatic person, and
What do you mean dramatic?
but she a problem. Like she's like really a person that loves to start drama. You know,
Oh, I see. Okay.
she loves to start drama. If she's not having no paying her no attention, trust me, you go in that dressing room, it's about to be a yeah. Get ready to be
Oh,
irritated.
okay.
She's gonna go off, and sometimes you gotta ignore that. You gotta ignore that, especially in the dressing room. The dressing room is a major thing. You don't want to stay in there long.
Oh
You want to
man.
get in there and go.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Have you ever had a male family member come into the club where you were dancing at?
No, no. I said no, cause I'm from the country, like so I drive far, to go to my clubs, and if if I did, actually, you know what, I did. I just remember I did, but I was already dressed out. I was actually leaving. I was
Okay.
dressed out. Yeah, I just remember that it was my cousin, and I was just like, "What the world? What you doing in here?" I was like, "He's like, I'm just sitting here." I'm like, "Oh wow." And that was the only time I seen a family member.
Damn, that's crazy.
I
So let
was
me
dressed.
tell
I
you.
was dressed out. If I had have been in my dance club, oh, I would have been like, "What the world?"
Oh no.
Yeah.
Um, so I used to go to strip clubs a lot. I used
Mm,
to work at a strip club. I didn't dance. I was a server, but I used to go to strip clubs a lot,
mm,
and it was always female strip clubs. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot.
mm,
I'm from Alabama, and in Alabama, a lot of women go to strip clubs to see girls, straight
mm,
women who go just to turn up, just to have
mm.
fun, support the dancers. We used to give the dancers a lot of money. We used to
Yeah.
we used to go give the dancers a lot of money. But I remember the first time I went to a male strip club.
Mm,
She said,
mm.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, I was like, oh, this ain't the same. This ain't the same vibe. This ain't the
I've
same
never been,
energy.
so okay. What the same? I've
Uh,
had my suspicions too. Okay.
mm-mm. The one I worked at this club once, and it was mostly, like a female strip club, but every once in a while they would have showcases. And what they would do is divide the room in half,
Mm,
right? Because they call themselves trying to attract a lot of female clients, a lot of female patrons. And
mm.
so at these showcases, they would hire these big name dancers from around the region. They'd split the room in half and have like all the females on one side, the patrons. All the
Yeah.
males on the other side, they'd have the male dancer over here and the female dancer over here, and there'd be these simultaneous like showcases
Yeah.
happening. And yeah, man, male strippers just don't do it for me at all. At all, 0%.
Yeah.
There's only been a handful of scenarios where I have seen male strippers, but every scenario was exactly the same. I was like, this ain't it.
I
This
don't
ain't
like
it.
it.
This ain't it. This
Right.
ain't it.
Right.
This ain't it. This ain't it.
I don't think it's the same. Yeah, it's. I always thought it was different. Like I'm like I don't think women enjoy it as much as I think they do. I'm like, man, it sounds nice, but I'm like, I don't think they really enjoy that
Well,
because it's
I'll be honest. I'll be frank. Um, because every time I've gone to these strip clubs, because it's only, like I said, it's only been, I could probably count on one hand how many times I've seen male strippers. But
mm,
every single time, and I was considerably younger too, but every single time it was just, for me, it wasn't believable.
yes,
Like
it's forced. It's like it's
the majority of these men, I'm like, these motherfuckers are gay. Like, they ain't really trying to entertain me. They gay.
right. Yeah,
And that's okay to be gay, but like, bitch, don't be trying to dance for me, bitch. And I
I
know you gay.
know.
Like, you ain't trying to entertain me. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
something's not
And
right
so there'd
here.
be all these women hooping and hollering and screaming over this person with a nice body. I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe I read too much into it, but every time I've ever seen a
no,
male stripper, I knew. But the majority of my friends at the time were gay men. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? From like 16 to 24, the majority. My first two roommates were drag queens. You
Oh
feel
wow.
me? So like, I know gang, bitch. I know y'all. And
Yeah,
y'all
yeah,
gang, and y'all ain't trying to entertain me. So it just never came off as fun for me. The whole
yeah.
thing about the fun is like the mystique that maybe I could get it. You feel me? Like there's that kind of
I
mystique.
think we got more experience doing that. They don't really have that experience, I guess, or put into a point where they have to cater to women. Like we always gotta cater to, so we can really put that mask on and play. Like I'll tell you, I'll be acting as if I really am into this guy. I give him my fake number, and then never like, why you ain't call? Why you not hitting me? Come on now, you really can't think that I really am into you like this.
It's the illusion. It's the illusion that they see.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And male dancers. I've never seen a male dancer. Not once, not ever. That doesn't mean they don't exist. I have just never seen a male dancer that was convincing.
Convincing.
Like I want to be here. Like I'm lying to you. It's all about you right now.
I love you. Right. Mm-mm.
I ain't
it's not
that.
Like that.
I'm like, come on, boy.
Right.
You ain't going home with nobody after this club. You
right.
You going home to a husband, bitch. Come on.
You taking your money to him. Oh my God.
I think my gay male friends ruined it for me because baby, I can peep game. Can't let y'all fool me. I peep game.
Yeah, when you know the behind the scenes, you be like, I see it. I know when I see it.
Thank you. That part. Yeah, no, it was always much. And I had a lot of friends, female friends that were strippers. So we would just find the clubs, go hang out with our female friends, give them tons of money, drink it up, what I'm saying, whatever. And then in Alabama, I'm pretty sure it's the same way in Atlanta, but in Alabama, they have this setup where you can get, if you're a bar owner, you can get like what they call a public liquor license, which allows your club to stay open until 3, or you can get a private liquor license, which will allow your club to stay open 24/7. And so So like the club that I worked at the longest was just a regular biker bar, like a straight up old school white boy biker bar. And my shift was from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m.
And that's the best time. I mean, have a place that stays open that late. I don't know, what's something about like my old club, it stayed open to 6 o'clock in the morning. And sometimes even later than that, if people really spending money. And it's something about going in at night and coming in with like, coming out and it's like bright. You're like, dang, I feel accomplished. I feel accomplished. I feel like dang, I gotta go through another. I'm like, wow, I really saved.
I made the most money at that spot, and I was just cocktailing there. I wasn't bartending.
Right. Oh man.
I was pulling so much money out of that place. It was insane. But it was because of the hours. Everybody who worked at, all the bar and restaurant employees who worked till 3, we were the only place open that late in the area. And so
everybody's leaving and going there.
They came to our shit so they could turn up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like it's a wave coming. They was like, oh yeah, they coming in here. Just wait. They're coming. But the great thing about dancing though, it's gonna make you more confident. It's gonna make you trust in yourself a lot more, and making you say, okay, I'm the star. It's like, I'm the star. They come to see you for real, even though you may not see anything special about you. If that's your case, trust me, there is, and that's that joy, having joy around, just being lively. People love that. People love the person that's lively. So you are saying, okay, I can't shy away from things no more. Like I have to put myself out there so where people can know that, hey, I know I'm worth it, but you better know it too. And I got to get this money. So, might as well pay me. That's how I feel, about it.
So we have another question. This is from Bay Soul. She said, what is your focus while dancing? Like, what do you think about?
Okay, so me, I'm thinking about, it could be a whole different thing. I can think about the beat, of the song. Then sometimes I'll be thinking about, okay, like I'm actually having sex with this person. I think like that. Or I'll think like, and this is a good thing to do. I think of Oshun. I think of
Wow. Okay.
I even listen to Oshun like songs while getting ready, for work. because it really does. Like if you tap into like a goddess, and I think she's perfect. She's a perfect one, and you
Yes.
and y'all too. Tap in that ocean energy, and I'm telling you, you're gonna go to work, and you're gonna be like, why am I? Because usually things that trigger me or get me upset is not getting me upset. I'm looking now at the greatness of things and how the beauty of it. That's what it does to me. Even or sometimes it may pop in my head, oh, this guy, he's being a little too grabby. I don't like that, And if
Uh-huh.
that comes into your head, then you can take your power back. You can hold, like you can literally hold their arms, hold their hands down. They touching you in the way you don't like, or you can turn around, move, you can just to your thing, So you have to really do it. You really have to be in there and actually do it to know what to think about or what gets you the most money. Like whenever I think about this, it gives me the most money, you know. So if you
Mm.
it gives me the most money. So the money can't always be your focus. It can't be your main focus because if you do it for the money, trust me, you're gonna get drained very easily.
Uh,
Because you don't find any love in it no more. You be like, dang it, nobody give me no money. Like you
this
can
is a
actually talk
job.
to people and
It,
find greatness in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
you treat it like a job.
You do, and this thing is like a 9 to 5, like, but I would say it's heightened because everybody can. If they're throwing money in the air, women, trust me, people watching you, even when you think that they're not, they're watching you, and they're clocking how much money you making. So they trying to, and so it's something that people look for, and they get jealous and they get envious. So that's why I say staying in the dressing room for so long, talk, people talk, and then they get into arguments and stuff like that because a lot of times through you know being tired or not getting the attention they want, not getting the money they want, frustration, all of this stuff in the back. But it can be a lot. And but the great thing about it though, like some places I've seen some dance strip clubs in the dressing room, like women, they'll be saging, they'll sage,
Oh,
they'll be
okay.
out. Yeah, we like my old club, like we'll be in there saging in the dressing room.
I heard that.
We'll be in
Okay.
there with our crystals on. Like there's so many dances. I don't know if people notice, like dancers wear crystals all the time. They wear their bracelets, and stuff like that. It's an energy that we really put into it, that feminine energy. Even though the goddess isn't really the center of it, it's usually, oh, thank God, thank Jesus, y'all. God is good. Like, y'all, I just got this man gave me all this money. Even though that's the center a lot, but it's a lot of feminine energy in the back, a lot of feminine energy, which can be crazy when a woman not getting what she wants and you'll take it out on
Oh,
other women. And
oh
I'm like,
man.
wow, it could be hard. It could be hard. That's why you got to know how to maneuver. And you'll learn. The only way you'll learn that is when you put yourself in there. Because what I'm saying right now, if you actually start dancing, you be like, it was nothing like how she said it was. But that's your experience. And I'm a
Right.
different type of dancer. I'm not a dancer who's like always promoting I'm a dancer. I don't do that. I
Yeah.
don't do that. I just go in there, make my money, talk to people, and leave, and that's it.
Yeah, Baso was saying, I guess she was like piggybacking off what you already she said. She was like, yeah, I was just thinking y'all should be protecting y'all energy with crystals, fluid water, amulets, and things like that. So y'all
Yeah,
already on point. Y'all already on game.
yeah, and like I'm glad you said that because honestly, we do.
I
If you
heard
look at
that.
a dancer, look at her. A lot of them be wearing crystals and everything. It's a big thing. They be having little charms. They have charms. Yeah, I'll be like, and I watch because I try to observe everything, and I see it. I see it all the time. Yeah.
Mhm. So I wanted to talk a little bit. Like I appreciate this conversation a lot more than you think. Because like I said on that show that you mentioned it on, like this is some shit I've been threatening for a long time, and it's
Right.
mostly been, I've always been a big girl, so I always made the joke like, let me drop these 50 pounds and I'm gonna jump up on somebody's pole. You feel me? Or whatever. But seriously, like especially when you get to a point where you like I had a friend, a gay friend of mine. He was like, bitch, why you broke? He was like, why you ain't got no money, Cassandra? This, he my age. He's like, bitch, why you ain't got no money? I was like, what you mean? He's like, bitch, you got a vagina. Like, why you ain't got no money?
Wow,
he was like, baby, he was blood raw. He was like, that shit don't compute to me. He's like, you was born with a vagina. I don't understand how you ain't got no money.
Yeah.
This is gay.
Yeah.
Like, day is long. He's like, bitch, what?
Right.
What you mean your rent is late? Excuse me, what?
Right.
And so this conversation, and I talked to y'all a couple of weeks ago about, when we were talking about secret heart's desires, and like one of mine that was my first time admitting out loud anywhere, was to produce, like elevated pornography.
Yeah.
Right. And somebody inboxed me from that show. It was like, I'm a producer, and if you're serious about it, like, that shit is genius. What you're talking about, that shit is awesome. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Even the sisters were like commenting when I said that, because my point is that secret heart's desire that you have, you don't know. That secret heart's desire that you have that you ain't letting live could be somebody else's salvation. Like they looking for an answer, and you holding it hostage because
they have the tools. They have the tools to help you out. You like, dang. So it's like, I gotta be serious about this. You know what I mean? I gotta be serious because when you bring somebody in, like a dancing world, like I would never recommend to no woman to dance. I would never, unless she has literally quit her job. Like she's saying, girl, I've already gotten hired, or I'm going right now. And I say, girl, do it. But other than that, I wouldn't, because a lot of girls don't last. Like the lady was saying, 31 days. There's some girls that won't last 2 days. I don't even know how I lasted so long, because I was thinking, I'm like, this ain't for me. Like this ain't for me. It's because, I felt like I was out of my element, but really because I just wasn't using them. I wasn't using my element. That's what it was. And I was stuck. So when you are forced, this forces you to use it. It's just like, dang, I ain't got no other way.
I love that. And it's funny because I think this conversation, to me at least, is more than just about dancing. It's more than even like the title was about, like, erotic dance or exotic dance, in worship of the goddess. But this whole all encompassing, issue of like female sexual sovereignty, and how like all of the areas of our sexuality have been reduced or muted to such an extent that we're like timid or uncomfortable or like reserved in a way that we can't tap into the most sacred element of ourself, which is, like sexual, like what does true sexual autonomy, sexual sovereignty look like in the body of a woman? How does that express itself?
Right. And I was thinking that too. You hit it. Yes. If one thing it does, it should make you stay sexy, even under the male gaze. Like it forces you to say, you know what? Even this guy keep looking at me, keep hugging me, or want to touch me. Oh, I'm gonna play into that. Oh, you like me? Or you touch? You know what I mean? Like, oh, just play into that. Don't be like, or just try to hide your legs or cover up. It's just like a lot of guys really want to see that, because they've been so deprived of it too, honestly, because like I wasn't comfortable showing my body like that, in the beginning. And you can see that. Like, you can see it. People can pick up on it. So when you are comfortable with yourself, people will give you money. You think people ain't gonna give you money, they will give you money because you're being confident. I've had guys stop me. I don't want you to dance for me. Gave me a whole bunch of money and was like, I just like to see you. I'm like, okay, thank you. They will do that because people came there to spend money. And a lot of times I've heard people say, man, ain't no dancer came up and talked to me. I'm like, yeah, we don't really do that because we expect to get picked. Because that's in the culture. we expect to get picked. That's in the culture, but in this dancing world. But you have to step out. Whatever people are doing, and I'm telling you, sometimes it ain't working, and you got to be like, okay, I'm gonna do something different, and be okay, be brave enough to be like, be confident. Like, come on, I'm gonna do
Yo,
this, even if it don't work out like how I wanted to. I'm gonna do it
yo, girl, you have said a word, child. You have said a word.
for real. It's
Listen,
true.
I'll be
It's
honest. This conversation, especially this aspect of it, like the sex, what does sexual autonomy, what does sexual sovereignty, because let's circle back. So I was talking about how every male stripper I'd ever seen, I knew they were gay. And so it like destroyed the illusion for me. There was no illusion because bitch, I know you gay. You feel what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
But I've known so many lesbian dancers, fully lesbian dancers who are convincing
Oh yeah.
in their dance to males. So when you were talking about like catering to the male gaze and shit like that, and it just struck me about this whole idea of approaching this type of work. And I'm sure that's been the case since erotic dance has been a thing. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, bitch, I'm the center. You have something that I need. I have something that you want. This
Right.
is the extent of this energetic exchange. Bitch, pay me. And then I'm going to go home to my lover, who might be a
Yes.
woman, you know what I'm saying? Or
And
whatever.
that's in the most, I'm telling you, it's crazy to me. I was starting to feel a little weird because there are so many dancers who are lesbians, especially in Atlanta. It's real big. And so it's up to a point where, like, dang, if you like men, they be like, what? Like feminism, like the movement, like, you like men? What? That's crazy. I don't get you. It's really like that. You can start to feel like, dang, am I crazy? But no, yeah, it's like that. And the crazy thing about it is that those be the from what I've seen, it's a real that type of relationship in the dance world. It can be very physical. They may argue so much. Like, I've seen that so many times where girls who are messing with each other, they'll be in the back and they'll just be going at it. Like, yes. It's fun. It's funny. You be like, dang, why? I thought y'all were making money together, whatever. But it could be real, just crazy and violent.
You know what? It'd be an interesting sociology project just to observe like the dressing room of a strip club. And
Oh yeah.
I'd say that because I just saw this woman. Her name is Erica. Ooh, I can't remember her last name. She I just met her through Lotus Flower when Lotus Flower interviewed me. What was it, the week before last or last week or whenever? But this sister has a huge following. I was watching some of her shorts today, and she did one of her shorts was about um, her observation of lesbian relationships where one of the partners is like male identified,
Okay.
and how you know it was this striking thing to her, the dynamics in these lesbian relationships where there's obviously like a male identified partner, and those relationships still mimic the toxicity and the violence of heteronormative relationships, right? And
Right.
how these females will fashion their male identified behavior after toxic males, right?
Yeah.
In these
Yeah.
relationships. And this whole thing, even today when I was watching this, I was like, everybody talks about these different dynamics and Miss Teak, I haven't seen you up here in a couple of days, sis. Where you been? I know I took a week off, so let me not front. She said, I love you, Iyapo. I'm so grateful for the great cosmic mother. Bless my life with you. Peace, Laticia, and everyone on the live. You're so sweet. So anyway, one of the things I was thinking about today when I watched this sister's short on that, because I had a lot of male gay friends, more male gay friends now, but back in the day, I had a lot of female, like a lot of lesbian friends, a bunch, a ton, right? And I used to observe. At the time, I didn't have like a historical or political spectrum through which
Yeah.
to view what I was observing in these relationships among
Mhm.
these women.
Yeah.
Because in Florida, where I moved here from, in Tampa, St. Petersburg, they have a lot of clubs that are like lesbian only clubs. You know, they're not just gay clubs; they're like lesbian only clubs.
Oh,
So
wow.
I would go to a lot of these spots with my homegirls, and it was like being a fly on the wall. I'm like,
Yes.
what is it that I am observing? Like, what is it that I am looking at in this thing, like the sister talked about today? And the thing that struck me is the thing that I was talking about last week is like, when I was talking to Sister Lotus, and I was like, nobody is trying to understand the complexities of human relationships and interactions through the lens that all of our relationships, no matter what they are,
Yes.
mother and children, mother and her parents, husband and wife, brother and sister, all of our relationships are still happening within the context of patriarchal world domination. Like, do any of us even know what real love looks like and feels like if
Mhm.
that love is happening within the context of a completely ever present dominating society that is oppressive? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That love
Right.
would look different, that human relationships would look different in the absence of all oppression, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
even to be talking about, like this sister was talking about today, like this male identified female and her, and her lesbian partner, but how her behavior is still indicative of like patterns of toxic masculinity because that shit is unfolding and happening within the context of a completely pervasively oppressive world system, like a social structure that infects every fucking thing. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so be interesting because you was talking about the sisters in the back who are like, partners or dealing with each other and
Yeah.
they wilding out in the back. And I'm like, but I don't know why we act surprised because even in the absence of men, patriarchy is real.
Yes, it is. It is.
Patriarchy is real. And it'd be interesting to understand like the role of sexual sovereignty in women and how that impacts like patriarchal deconstruction, like genuine true sexual sovereignty.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to too. Honestly, like all I can say is like I feel like every time I leave work, I want to feel that way. I want to feel like I I was in control. Like there was no male in there trying to tell me what to do. You know what
Yes.
I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like we both in that place. I'm in control. Like in my real life, we can just be like normal people. Like, come on now, we don't have to keep doing this. Oh, I'm in power now. You can be the submissive person. Like, come on, can we just real be connected?
Yes. Yes.
And that ways, oh yes, I'm in control, and I tell you what to do, and that's you gonna have to be okay with that. And if you're not, you can leave. And I'll leave. I'll leave away from you, and I go
Mhm.
somewhere else. And
Mhm.
I'm okay with that. And you just got to get out of that mindset of wanting to please a male,
Yes.
and having
Yes.
to be like, oh, I'm gonna cater to you. I want you to be okay. I want to help you. Like I don't have to
Mhm.
help you. Like what the world? You came to see me. You should be helped
Mhm.
by, letting me dance for you. You will be helped. Let me dance for
Yes.
you. You will be helped. I've just talked to guys, I'm telling you, and so I have like a type of thing with guys, like even though yes, they are it's crazy how things are out here. But I've talked to a lot of males where they appreciate a woman that actually
Is
speaking.
assertive.
Yes. And they're speaking and say, oh yeah, I have a thought. I be talking to them about aliens and stuff. It be so me for real. Like I really be talking to them about whole different type of stuff. And they will people will pay you for that. They be like, I like you. You different. You're not like everybody else. Like, what's your
Oh,
name? Do you want to dance? Like you talking
I
more than
love it. I love it for you, man.
you
I
gotta
love it for you.
make it great for you, make it interesting for you, and that's how I do it. I make it interesting, make it to where I'm sitting. If they start talking about other girls, I'm like, why are you talking to other girls when I'm here? I'm right here in front of you. Like,
Mm.
that's nothing that doesn't concern it. It's like, I'm talking to you. We're having a conversation. And because a lot of males will do that. They'll say, yeah, that girl over there, she came, she this and that. And I'm like, well, why are you trying to say that? What, for me to chime in? No, I always try to redirect it towards back to me. And why are you here? You came here for someone to dance. You should have. Now that they may have, other motives.
Ulterior motives. Yeah.
Yes, but make force guys. I literally force guys. It may not been like physically, but force them like, dang, okay, here, golly. They're like, man, I like you. You a hustler, golly. You be hustling on my side. I was like, what do you mean? I'm just here to talk and have a good time, and dance if that's what you want, and so it's a funny thing. So you can talk to people about anything. Cause sometimes, like this one guy, he was like, yeah, I'm just here, I'm trying to get out. I'm a single father. Like, okay. Why he say that? I don't know. But okay. So I'm just going. I said, oh, maybe he said, yeah, I got all these kids. I was like, oh wow, maybe I could be your next baby mama. They like stuff like that, even next baby mama, yeah. Oh my gosh. She said, oh no, you gotta wait until my kids grow up first. I was like, okay, I'll wait. Playing, even though, like, come on now. He should know I'm not being serious. But
Mm.
this guy, gave me like $100 just for that, and was tipping on, because in Georgia, y'all, even though the thing was, $5 a song, that's no longer it's no longer a thing there. Like recently, it's just been $10, a song. But in black clubs, you have to know that they are anticipating you to throw money. Okay, you just can't give a girl $10 each in every single song. You can, but come on now, ain't nobody really being gonna wait and do that for you. So you can get more out of people, and people are willing to spend it if you know how to talk to them. you
Mm.
know. So yeah,
Yeah.
these guys will spend money. They will. But like you were saying before, it's under I'm not doing anything that they are not letting me do.
Right.
Like, they're
Right.
allowing it. So it's just like a power thing. Like, I can't remember what you were reading, but I think it was Pure Lust. And she was saying how the male, he goes and do all these things behind closed doors,
Mm.
and yet he's so opposed to it in the open. But he can
Yes.
do that, because it's a power thing. And then say, okay,
Yes.
you go back and do your little thing. So this guy will still come out and disrespect him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if you out in the streets, he'll still disrespect me, even though, like, dang, we were just cooling. Okay, well, that's okay. We're not here. We're not there. We're not in those terms right now.
Right.
So
Right.
it's a real. So you better take advantage of that. I want to, every time I leave the club, I would say, man, I want to feel like ain't nobody take advantage of me, because you can get like easily taken advantage of in that place. You know,
Mm.
if you not knowing how to will your power, you have to will
Mm.
yourself.
There was a old school movie. It was you remember Striptease with
I never seen it. Oh wait, what was that? What's the
Demi Moore. Demi Moore.
Oh no, I never see it. I never saw it. I never saw it.
Okay, it's old school. Maybe 90s, late 90s. Demi Moore. She got a lot of flack for it because she was already, I think, 40 when she made the movie, but she is, a stripper in the movie, and she, her boss kept giving her shit because, she was a dancer. She wasn't just a stripper. She was a dancer. She was like, bitch, I'm trying to entertain bitches out here. She would have like she would have themes every time she
Ooh.
danced. You know what I'm saying? She had a different theme for every time she danced. And her boss was like, bitch, that shit too cerebral. Like, can you just make it simple? Like, you making your dances too deep for motherfuckers to share, right? And she was like,
Yeah.
it's not just about the stripping, bitch. It's about the art. It's about the dance,
Mm.
right? And she ends up attracting the attention of this millionaire or some shit because he's like, I ain't never seen no shit like that my whole life. Like, do you ever do like themes when you dance? Do you ever like channel the goddess when you dance, or go in all gold like channeling Oshun or some shit, or play some
Yes.
African music to dance to or some shit,
Yes.
like come out from the left on them or something.
No, what a lot of like I guess in California there are some clubs that you choose your songs. You know, they'll say,
Oh,
oh,
okay.
what song? Yeah, like there are clubs like that.
I thought that was for everybody. I didn't realize that's not the
Oh no,
case.
no, yeah, it's different. Like it's different, you know, in different places. So in Atlanta, like you gonna dance to whatever he play, and if you want
That
to,
sucks.
yeah. And the thing is, that's what the get you gotcha is that if you want your song played, of course you gotta go and pay him, you know, and you gotta keep paying him. It's a real, it's like everyone's trying to get in your bag, like
Yeah,
everyone. So I know
yeah.
it can really feel like, dang, they trying to get one over on me. But it's like, okay, is it worth going off on? Am I making enough money to where I'm like, man, sometimes you gotta weigh your options. You gotta
Yeah.
weigh your options. You know, if you're not getting, if this guy not playing the right songs or whatever, you don't gotta pay the DJ. You know what I'm saying? But it's only right if you're getting up there and you're playing the good songs and you're getting a whole bunch of money. It's only right that you do give him something.
Tip the DJ.
Yeah, but there are DJs, I'm telling you, it's ran like, even though you have all this wonderful feminine energy in here, it's ran by males a lot of times, and they would treat you a certain way. I've seen DJs literally grab all the girls. This is literally from the floor, right? Tell them, y'all, all girls in the dressing room, and we'll go in the dressing room, and he gonna stand up on the chair and say, "Now, y'all over here, y'all need to be tipping y'all. Y'all need to get up. Y'all need to dance. My mama was a stripper. My mama was a stripper. She been doing this too. I'm out here trying to support y'all and everything, and y'all over here just not giving me nothing. All the dancers in the bag, and he's over going off because he's not getting no money, like how a lot of dancers can be. I'm like,
That's
are you? So you mean to tell me everybody had to come to the back, even if you're talking trying to get some money, you got to come to the back immediately for him to go off on us because he's not getting no money.
bitch, they
Oh my
probably
god.
paying him $500 a night.
And he probably getting paid already. It's like, bro, we ain't got nothing to do with you. You don't do stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like that, or sometimes it'll be like, don't come in the DJ booth. Don't come in here. This one girl, she goes in the DJ booth. He was like, get your mother ass out of there. You know, yes. The way like you get spoke to, it's ridiculous a lot of times. Like you like, what? You
And I
get
know he
spoken
making money because
down.
I don't know about there, but I know DJs out here make a gang of money. I mean, they make so. I mean, you paying $400 for an hour set from a DJ out here.
I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure. But you know, I don't. It's something about when a man
Yes,
is not getting what he wants from a woman.
throwing a temper tantrum.
So you know, those people out there, they'll say, "Oh, why would he touch on you? He got all this money. He can get any woman he wants." It's the fact that they don't like that denial, like rejection. Oh no, you
Yes,
can, because it's gonna be aggression now against you. Like, you know,
yes,
oh no, you can't say no to me. No
yes.
one
Oh my
says no to
God,
me.
yes.
You get aggressive with it, you know, and it happens. I got seen it happen all the time.
That's a
You
damn
know,
shame.
it's a shame. It is. That's why I say it's a way that you have to move. It's a time when you gotta turn up. The time when you gotta be like, I'm gonna turn to the left. I'm gonna go here. You gotta, and I can't tell you, like no one can really tell you how to maneuver in there. You know, it's just that you have to go in there and do it
Mhm.
yourself and see what am I made of? Like, or what can I be? Or what can I turn this into? I would
Mhm.
never thought I'd be able to do this, you know, and
Oh, that's
I
good to
you
know, man. That's good to know. And you seem, like I wouldn't roll up on you and to be like, yeah, she might be a dancer, she might be a stripper. Like
yeah,
you look real innocent, you understand? Your
yeah,
little dimples, you understand? You
right,
cute, you ain't got a lot of makeup on. I would
right.
never be just like, yeah, she probably a dancer, she probably a stripper.
Yeah, you can't really clock it. You like, no, I don't
Yeah,
care what's on it. And I'll broadcast it, you know. And
yeah,
the women who do, okay, that's them. I just don't, you know.
yeah.
But it's with the bad things that can happen in this club, you can get caught up in, you know, the wrong crowd. You can't trust like every girl in the club gonna have your back, you know, because a lot of times they will fall back and your butt will be out there and you know on Front Street like, dang, why did I even do that? You know, because you so you, just be careful. You just know when to dial it back or know how to maneuver with people and saying that, okay, maybe you need to just calm down, just come over here. So because there's a lot of emotion, a lot of people drunk, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
going on. You like, man. So you can get easily swept up, easily
Mm.
swept up. And that's the thing. If you trigger easily, I don't know if you're gonna be able to you're gonna say survive. And you trigger easily, you like, I got to go, and you just flight, like I gotta go. I don't know if it's gonna
Yeah,
work. But
yeah,
you have to just saying that I can do this and knowing that I got the power. I know. Just be me. Be who I am alone. I'm gonna be who I am alone and see if I'm gonna see. And people gonna give you
that's what's
money.
up. That's what's
Yeah.
up. Well, it's 11:08, so I think we gonna probably round this out. But I would be interested in having this discussion again. Like I like the whole like logistical background discussion about what you do and the ins and outs of what you do. But I would like to have a follow-up discussion that is more
Oh,
centered
yeah.
around like the spiritual, like sexual liberation, you know, what does this look like in the future for goddess worship type of conversation.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I
Yeah.
really would like
It
to
can be
dig in more.
major, but it's just like it's just too many males in there in control.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
main thing.
yeah. The whole time you were talking, I was like, damn, maybe I need to open up a strip club. Like maybe I'm going about this
There's a
shit
lot of
all
women.
wrong.
Yes, there's a lot of women. Was one club is woman, woman by woman, you know, So yeah, I mean,
She
that women
probably
got
get shit for it too.
say what now?
I said she probably get shit for it too.
Oh yeah, I mean, but but like we were saying before, when you are catering, you just like the male. You're the male, but you're really a woman, but you got a male
Yeah,
mind. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it can be
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, y'all, we might need to own a strip club together. Shit,
Yeah.
you feel me? All female, everything. Remember that story I was telling you guys about? Uh, it was an Odu in the Ifa Odu where the women left the village because they were being mistreated. They were doing everything, but they were still being mistreated by their husbands. So they left the village and built their own village. They was
Oh,
like,
I,
yeah, y'all don't remember? Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. I forget. It's not Osameji, but anyway, the Ifa Odu are like the stories, like the parables for divination, and
oh,
each one of the divination, falls has a story attached to it, and there's several stories about the women leaving historically. Like shit gets so bad, men be fucking off so bad, the women just be like, deuces, we out. You feel me? And
wow.
so there's this story where the women were doing everything. They were running a marketplace, they were over agriculture. And even though they were doing everything, taking care of the kids, doing all the cooking, all the shit, they were still getting beat up by their husbands. They was getting mistreated. You understand? And so finally, all the women was like, well, shit, we doing everything and we ain't getting appreciated for it. We still getting brutalized, mistreated. Fuck it, we can do this. We can did all this shit. We can do all this shit by ourselves. So the
Right.
women grabbed up their babies, grabbed up their shit, and left. All the women in the village left the men there, right? Went and built their own town, built their own village, right? And within no time, the village was thriving. They was doing all the things. They had all this peace. There wasn't no complications, wasn't no jealousy, wasn't no envy. They was turned up. They had scouts, females, that would be like scouts to make sure that they were safe, like do shifts to make sure that they were safe and shit. And the scouts one day came in and was like, yo, the men are coming. The men are coming. The men were mad that the women left. And instead of being like, you know what, we was fucked up. Let us just go and apologize and stop playing these games. You feel me? Instead of doing that, they decided to grab up arms and call themselves going to go to the village of the women and try to force them to come back home. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the scouts are like, the men are coming. The men are coming. And the women was like, all right, we ready. And the women beat their ass, beat them back, sent them running with their tails between their legs. This happened 3 times where the men tried to attack the women like militantly, and the women beat them and beat their ass back. And so the men was like, well, damn, we can't keep doing it this way. So they go to a neighboring village and they get a reading from a babalawo. The babalawo tell them, look, Oshun is mad. Oshun is mad about how you was treating the women. And so this is what you have to do. Now the story, the way my godmother told it, I was mad about the story. But I'm gonna tell y'all anyway. So they go with the reading from the Babalawo. The Babalawo say you got to make offerings to Oshun. You got to beg Oshun. You got to make offerings to Oshun, and convince Oshun to bring the women back. So they did it. They did the ritual, made the offering, said the prayers. And so Oshun was like, all right. And so one day, Oshun goes to the village of the women. And all the women were like, oh my God, y'all, it's Oshun. Like Oshun came to us. So they hype. They cooking. They preparing meals. They get on their best clothes. They're like, yo, Oshun is here. They turned up, right? Oshun starts singing and dancing. They're like, oh shit, Oshun is in the house. Oh shit. They turned up. She starts playing a drum. They are wilding out of control, right? They so hyped up, right? And then, girl, they dancing and they singing and they partying and they praising. And the next thing you know, when they have come out of their trance, child, Oshun done danced them all the way back to the village of the men. You hear me? Sis. I think it's frozen. Anyway, I keep telling y'all. So she done danced them all the way back to the village of the men. I guess the reason I'm telling you this story is because you know, this whole thing about the success of women. My name, I know I was the same way. When I heard the story, I was like, what the fuck kind of ending is that? Like Oshun done danced her sisters back to the goddamn land of the men? Like, wait a minute. The fuck? Now, the way my godmother explained, my godmother's mom explained it was about, how Oshun's ultimate goal is, about creating harmony and balance and peace and love and shit like that. Okay, but I told y'all, Ifa is a patriarchal tradition. Even though its origin is matriarchal, it's still a patriarchal tradition. And so for me, like when I first heard the story, and even when the dudes went to go see the Babalawo, right? I was like, it's typical. Why the Babalawo didn't say, in order to honor Oshun, take y'all ass, because the Babalawo said y'all offended Oshun. How did y'all offend Oshun? By mistreating women. That's how you offended Oshun, is by mistreating women. So instead of the Babalawo saying, so in order to repair this, you got to go back to these women and make right the wrong you done did. That's how you honor Oshun. That's how you make offerings to Oshun. No, you just say bypass, spiritual bypass. Make offerings to Oshun, sing songs to Oshun without rectifying and holding yourself accountable for the shit that made her mad in the first place, which was your mistreatment of your wives, your daughters, your sisters, your mamas, your aunties. You understand? So even with this tradition, as much as I love it, baby, I was offended by the story. So anyway, I guess that is a good segue to make. But maybe that might be our come up plan, sisters, is to, not only launch, highly elevated erotica, you understand, centered in the sexual worship of the goddess, but it might be that we need to own a strip club together to get these coins, and we all become investors of this radical, like, highly elevated erotic dance. Maybe even have a shrine in the strip club or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It is split the proceeds among everybody who are investors in the joint. I don't know. This might be a plan, y'all. This might be the what was the thing for Sunday? The scene making that we need to do. But anyway, it's a good way to segue, good way to end the night. Yes, my baby, I'm glad you agree. Because we got money to make. We got coins to get, because we got a world to change, and it requires resources that are ours, by the way. that are rightfully ours. You understand? But anyway, so I want to thank the sister. I guess her phone died. But I want to thank Sister Laticia for the really dope and extremely informative interview. It was fun. I like interviewing. I forgot how much I like interviewing. I'm gonna have to do this more, and hopefully we can have her back to talk more specifically about erotic dance, sexual sovereignty, and the worship of the mother. With that being said, I am going to eat my cold Chinese food and take my ass to bed. I will see you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. for the continued reading of Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. Until then, y'all have a wonderful night, a wonderful evening. May your dreams be prophetic, and may we pull a jack move tonight. Tomorrow night at 9:36 p.m. I will be prepared to teach you, if you do not already have one, teach you how to set up your ancestral altar and to use the energy from this lunar eclipse, this blood moon on Saturday, to consecrate your altar. Until then, I will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Have a great night.